Dear students, welcome to Army Public School PMA Resource Network. Before we start our today's lesson, please subscribe this page and click on the bell icon. Dear students, our today's session includes again both literature and language. Here we will be trying to come up to all required lines so that it could be made more effective equally for reading, comprehension, and speaking indeed. So today's topic for literature is The Secret Garden, chapter number 3, and for language is Unit 2, Staying Healthy. So let us move to the beginning of literature. So the objectives are learning to read chapter 3, proper pronunciation and underlining of difficult words, understanding the actual and contextual meanings of difficult words, summarizing and reproducing the theme of the chapter, solving the exercise, and answering the questions. Dear students, here we come to the reading portion in which we have to read it as per standard pronunciation, and also we have to see and note the meanings of difficult words. Now you can see chapter number 3. Martha shouted Mary one morning, "Look at the moor." The sun was shining, the sky was blue, and everything looked beautiful. "Spring is coming," smiled Martha. "There will be lots of colorful flowers on the moor soon." It was Martha's day off, and she was going to see her family. "I would like to visit your house one day," said Mary. "It's a long walk," said Martha. "But I can ask my mother. She can talk to Mrs. Medlock about it. I must go now, but I will see you tomorrow." "I would like to meet your mother," said Mary. "And Dickon," Martha smiled. "I wonder," she said, "what Dickon would think of you." "I don't think he would like me," answered the girl coldly. Martha was surprised. "Why?" she asked. "Don't you like yourself?" "No, not at all," said Mary. "But I have never thought of that before." "Well, think about it now," said Martha gently, and left. Martha went out to the gardens. Ben and two other gardeners were working, and the robin was singing loudly. "Look, everything is starting to grow," Ben said, and smiled at her. "Ben is happy today," thought Mary, as she walked away. The robin followed her. "Hello, do you remember me?" she asked the bird. The robin flew down to her, and Mary saw something on the ground. "What's that?" she asked. "Oh, it's an old key. Perhaps it's the key to the garden," she said, and put the key in her pocket. Early the next morning Martha came back. "I brought you a present," she said happily to Mary. "It's from my mother." "A present?" asked Mary. "Oh, what is it?" "It's a skipping rope. Mother says it will help you." I don't know what to say. Thank you. Dear students, now carefully listen this text in a simple words. Mary was talking to Martha. Mary wanted to visit more, and she also wanted to meet Martha's mother. After that, she visited the garden. There were three gardeners who were busy in doing work, and she felt that Ben was happy. Then she saw Robin, a bird. The robin flew down to her, and Mary saw something on the ground. She was happy to find the key of secret garden. She put the key in her pocket, and next day Martha gave her a present. It's from Martha's mother. She said, "Thank you to Martha." Now, this is the next page of chapter 3. Martha laughed. "Go outside and try it." Mary skipped and skipped all the way to the garden wall. The robin was sitting here. "You showed me the key yesterday," she said. "But where is the door?" The robin started singing. Suddenly the wind blew, and some branches moved from the wall. "Oh, it's magic," thought Mary, as a door appeared. She tried the key, and the heavy door opened. Mary took a step through the door and smiled. She was standing inside the secret garden. It was the most mysterious place you could imagine. There were hundreds of plants and rose bushes and tall grass everywhere. Leaves and branches hung from walls and trees, and the garden smelled sweet and wet. "It's so quiet in here," she whispered. "Has everything died?" Now, students, carefully listen the text in simple words. Mary skipped and skipped in the garden, and she saw Robin. She said to the bird that yesterday you showed me the key, but where is the door? Suddenly the wind blew, and some branches moved from the wall, and the door appeared. She was surprised and opened the door. She took a step, and she was inside the secret garden. It was the mysterious place. This is the last page of chapter number 3. Then she noticed some little green plants in the ground. She took a stick and cleaned round them. "I can help these flowers to grow," she thought, and she worked all morning till lunchtime. "You ate all your food and look at your red cheeks," said Martha. Mother was right. "Martha," she said slowly, "I want to make a little garden, but I need some things. Mrs. Medlock gives me money from my uncle every week. Where can I buy a small spade?" Martha thought for a minute. "There's a shop in the village. It sells garden tools and flowers. My brother Dickon often goes there. He can buy things for you and bring them here." "Oh, could he, Martha?" said Mary. "Yes, we will send him a letter with some money," answered Martha. Mary was excited. "I am going to meet Dickon. I want to see him very much," she thought and smiled. Now listen the text in simple words. Mary cleaned the garden and thought that she can help these flowers to grow. She talked to Martha that she wanted to make a little garden, but for this she needs some garden tools. Martha told her that her brother Dickon can help her to buy these things. She said that we will send him a letter and money, and he will bring required things for you. Mary was excited to hear that she will meet with Dickon because she wanted to see Dickon very much. This is your chapter 3 of the novel Secret Garden. I hope that my students understand it well and can read with correct pronunciation. For better understanding, you have to know the meanings of difficult words. So here I am explaining the meanings of difficult words. The first word is more, an open, uncultivated, or empty place. The next word is gently. It means kindly or softly. Followed means chased. Brought means take something or somebody on self somewhere. Present, gift. Skipping, jump lightly, appeared, come into sight, mysterious, of an obscure nature or secret, whispered, speak softly or in a low voice. Okay, guys, this is the time of your home assignment. Kindly do your work neat and clean and also in a proper way. Enter the previous words in the vocabulary journal along with their meanings. Use only 4 words to make sentences. Answer these questions. Number 1. Who sent a surprise present to Mary? What was that? Question number 2. Why do you think Mary needs a spade? Students, you have to write answer in your own words and do your homework on loose sheets. I hope you will follow the instructions properly. Okay guys, now we are starting English language portion of today's session. So our learning objectives are to talk about healthy eating and food, listen for specific information, listen and evaluate information, focus on vocabulary related to the story. A healthy diet is one that helps maintain or improve overall health. A healthy diet provides the body with essential nutrients. A healthy diet may contain fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and includes little to no processed food and sweetened beverages. Okay, guys, here we will do a short activity. We have some pictures here and the names of the food items in an orange box. So, what we have to do? We have to match the words with the pictures. Now, let's see which picture will be matched with the given words. In the first picture, we have fruit and vegetables. In next picture, we can see good fats and oils. In third picture, we can see grains and cereals. In next, you can see dairy items. In picture number 5, we have bad fats and sweets. And in the last picture, we can see meat and fish. I hope you understand it well. Now we will read a story about a very clever and vigilant person. Here we are going to know how did he manage to rescue himself from the scenario of trouble and difficulty. So the title of the story is Stone Soup. Once there was a young man traveling around the country selling goods. Times were very hard, and every day he sold less and less until he didn't have any money at all. On the same day that he ran out of money and food, he came across a small village. He thought that in the village he would find someone who would give him a bit of food. He knocked at the door of a pretty looking house. A woman opened the door slightly. The young man asked the woman if she had a little food to spare for a very young traveler, but sadly the woman answered that she had no food at all. Curiously, the same thing happened at all the houses in the village. There was not even a crumb of bread left in the entire village. The young man was not discouraged. Instead, he came up with a plan. The young man found a wealthy looking house in the center of the village. An elderly man answered the door. The young man asked him If he had a large pot of water that he could spare, the old man asked him what he wanted it for. The young man explained that he was so sad about the lack of food in the village that he was going to make a big pot of soup for all the villagers from a special stone he had found on his travels. Now I am telling the story in simple words. There was a good sailor traveling around the country to selling goods. Unfortunately, every day he sold less and less until he didn't have any money and food. He wanted to take food from someone, so he knocked at the door of the house but didn't get any food. The same thing happened at all the houses in the village. So he decided a plan and he took a large pot of water from an old man and told him that he wanted to make soup for all the villagers. Now listen the story carefully. This is the next page of the story. The old man gave the young man a large pot of water and a stirring spoon and helped him build a big fire next to his house. The young man took a smooth stone out of his bag and put it in the pot of water. As he stirred the water, the young man mentioned to the old man that the magic soup was always better with a little onion and a head of cabbage to add extra flavor. So the old man went into his house and returned with a bag of onions and a head of cabbage. A neighbor who was putting out her washing smelled the onions and the cabbage cooking. She went to the old man's house where she was told about the special soup made of stone. The young man who was stirring the soup mentioned that the magic soup was always very good, but that a little bit of meat, perhaps a carrot and some potatoes, would add some extra flavor. So the woman went into her house and returned with a chunk of meat, a bunch of carrots, and a sack of potatoes. A little girl who was playing in the street smelled the soup and became curious about the smell. She went to the old man's house. The young man stirred the soup and mentioned to the girl that the magic soup was always very good, but it would be even better with few beans and a pinch of salt and pepper. So the girl ran into her house and returned with a bowl of beans and some salt and pepper and added them into the pot of soup. Now listen the story in simple words. The young man took a smooth stone out of his bag and put it in the pot. And he mentioned that the soup will be more delicious when we put a little onion and head of cabbage. So old man did the same. One by one, everybody brought different items of food to the young man to make soup more tasty. Some brought chunk of meat, some brought bunch of carrots, sack of potatoes, pinch of salt and pepper, bowl of beans, and those all were to make soup more delicious. Okay, the next page of the story. The woman from the first house where the young man had asked for food was in her garden collecting some herbs and mushrooms. She smelt the soup and became curious about the smell. So she walked down the lane to the old man's house. The young man stirred the soup some more and mentioned that the magic soup was always very good, but that a few mushrooms and some herbs from her basket would add even more flavor. The woman gladly added her ingredients to the soup. In a while, the soup was cooked, and everyone had a bowl of delicious stone soup. No one could believe that such a flavorsome soup could be made from just a stone. The young man served another bowl of soup and smiled to himself. Now listen the story in simple words. The young man took mushrooms and some herbs from the lady to whom he asked for food from the start. And after some time the soup was ready, and everyone had a bowl of soup and shocked that how can he made such a delicious soup from a stone. The young man smiled. For better understanding, let's see the meanings of difficult words. Traveling, the act of going from one place to another. Sold, the activity of persuading someone to buy. Slightly, to a small degree or extent. Curiously, in a manner differing from the usual. Crumb, a very small quantity of something. Discourage, try to prevent or show opposition to. Elderly, people who are old collectively. Explain, make plain and comprehensible. Steering, move an implement through with circular motion. Chunk, a piece of something without definite shape. Dear students, here we come to the most important part of our today's lecture, that is home assignment. This is the only way to know how much you have learned from this prolonged process of teaching and learning. So visit the given link to find out food that provide us vitamins. List down the names of food that contain vitamins with the help of information gained by research. Write down the two paragraphs on healthy diet. Pick out the nouns and verbs from the passage given in the syllabus on the portal and write them into two separate columns. Remember students, you have to use loose sheets for this purpose. Put these assignments for checking via students portal, please. Hope students you have enjoyed our today's class, and I hope that you got enough what I planned for. In spite of this all, if you still have any problem or query, you are most welcome to ask unhesitantly. Now the issue is how to ask. So I have made it simple for you. You can add your queries at the end of each assignment you upload on the students portal. Certainly, I will address your queries on priority. Have a nice day. Goodbye.